Back at it again with another video. Thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. So, I've been thinking about this as a hypothetical for 2024 for a little bit now. Nikki Haley has been running in the Republican primary. She's pulled anywhere from 15 to 20 to even 30%. She had a good showing in New Hampshire. But I've also thought about Gretchen Whitmer as the Democratic nominee. Obviously, the two front runners for the nomination, Biden on the Democratic side and Trump on the Republican side, they both have their issues. Biden's age is a concern among voters. Trump's legal issues is also a concern among voters. So let's just say Biden and Trump are not the nominees. It's unlikely. It looks like it's going to be a rematch. That's what's the outcome that we're trending toward. However, what if we decided Biden's not the Democratic nominee, Trump's not the Republican nominee? Who are we choosing as Democratic and Republican nominees? Well, Gretchen Whitmer, she's the governor of Michigan. Nikki Haley was the governor of South Carolina, UN ambassador. So, we're going to go through it. Gretchen Whitmer versus Nikki Haley 2024. Head over to yapms.com, yet another political map simulator. Go to the president map. Scroll out a little bit. All right. So let's actually change the name. So Gretchen Whitmer and Haley. I think Haley is just with one L. Yep, one L. Okay. So let's go through the deep blue states and deep red states. Deep blue, Washington, Oregon, California, Colorado, New Mexico, Hawaii, Illinois, Minnesota, Maryland, Delaware, Jersey, New York, much of the Northeast. All right. Let's go deep red states: Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Alaska, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, the Dakotas, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, and South Carolina. Okay, so those are the deep blue states and deep red states. A lot of people, might be curious why these other states aren't shaded. I'm considering them battleground, and I will go through why I consider them battleground and my predictions for a Whitmer versus Haley 2024 matchup. So let's start out west. So Nevada is a state that has voted Democrat since 2008. So 2008 and 12 for Obama, 2016 for Hillary Clinton, 2020 for Biden. So at the national level, Nevada and Virginia are a lot alike. So Nevada and Virginia have both voted Democrat since 2008. Nevada has a Republican governor. Virginia has a Republican governor. So at the local level, it's still pretty back and forth. It could be Democrat, it could be Republican. But at the national level, Nevada and Virginia are pretty lean blue at this point. Same thing with Iowa and Ohio on the Republican side. Even Florida to an extent. But if you look at Iowa and Ohio, two states that voted for Obama twice in 2008 and 2012, but have reverted back to red state status. So let's go down to Texas. Lean red. There we go. And the reason why I put Texas as a battleground is because I wanted to make a point that, so if you look at just the percentages of Republican vote share and Democratic vote share. So, like in 2000, George W. Bush, won 60% of the vote in Texas versus like 35% versus Al Gore. So a 60-ish to 30-ish, 35-ish margin, pretty healthy margin, pretty solidly. That's even landslide territory. You're basically winning 2-1. But in Texas in 2020, the margin was more like 52 to like 47, 48%. So the margins have tightened. So Texas is a red state, but it's not as red as people would like to think it is. And I don't think the Republicans are taking that seriously enough, because if the Democrats were to somehow flip Texas, that puts them at 267, and you just need one more state. If you're a Republican, you then have to win all the other states. But I don't think Democrats are going to win Texas this election cycle. I think Democrats have a very solid chance in 2028. So, Texas, pretty red. Same thing with Florida. Florida is a state that a lot of conservatives have flocked to, have moved to. So, I think pretty solidly red at this point. But Florida is more red than Texas is at this point, which is weird to say, because usually when you think of like Republican and you think of like conservatism, big states, you're going to think of Texas. But yeah, so far 227 to 218. Let's go to Arizona and Georgia. So we said the states that are a lot alike are Iowa and Ohio. They voted for Obama twice and then reverted back to red states. Nevada and Virginia have trended blue ever since 2008. Let's go to Arizona and Georgia. So Arizona, I'm going to put lean blue. And the reason why I put it as lean blue, because if you look at 2016 in Arizona, Trump won it, and there are 2 Republican senators in the U.S. Senate from Arizona. 2018, Kyrsten Sinema, the Democrat, won the Senate seat. 2020, Biden won the state, and Senator Kelly won the other U.S. House, not the U.S. House, the U.S. Senate seat. And in 2022, Arizona elected Katie Hobbs, the Democratic governor. So Arizona has trended blue. Same thing with Georgia. Georgia at the statewide level is still pretty Republican. If you look at the 2022 midterm elections, the governor won pretty handily. I think his name, I don't remember his name, I think it's Perdue. But he won pretty handily at the statewide level. But Georgia's another one. Georgia in 2016 voted for Trump, and there were 2 Republican senators. And by 2020, Biden won the state, and Democrats picked up both U.S. Senate seats in Georgia. So Arizona and Georgia are a lot alike, because in 2016, they voted Republican, and they had 2 Republican senators. In 2020, 2022, and now in 2024 election cycle, Democrats have both U.S. Senate seats in Arizona, both U.S. Senate seats in Georgia, and narrowly won Arizona and Georgia in 2020. A narrow win, but a win nonetheless. North Carolina, narrow to the right. North Carolina is more competitive than people think it is. North Carolina has been, for the past couple of decades, a pretty reasonably Republican state. Obviously, you have big cities like Raleigh and Charlotte that are, big areas for Democrats. But North Carolina is pretty Republican in the past couple of decades. But in 2020, Trump won by only like a percentage point. So very competitive. I think if it's Gretchen Whitmer versus Nikki Haley, I think narrowly votes Republican. I think it's going to be closer than many people would think. All right, let's go up to Michigan. I think Gretchen Whitmer pretty handily wins the state. She did very well in 2018, very well in 2022, and that would put her at 269, one vote away from the 270 to win. And honestly, I feel like could definitely pick that up in Nebraska's 2nd congressional district. So Nebraska and Maine do their allocation differently. So in all the other states, if you win the state, you get all the votes. If you lose, you get none of the votes. But in Nebraska, if you win the state, you get 2, and then if you win the congressional districts, you get another. Same thing in Maine. If you win the state of Maine, you get 2 votes. If you win the congressional districts, you get another vote. So that would put, so far, Gretchen Whitmer at 270, which would put her in the White House. Maine's 2nd congressional district, I think that's pretty narrow to the right. Maine's 2nd congressional district does have a Democratic incumbent, but it is a pretty rural district. So let's go to New Hampshire. Pretty consistently, New Hampshire has voted Democrat. The only exception in recent memory that I can remember is 2000. So that is a pretty lean blue state at the moment. At the statewide level, Vermont and New Hampshire are pretty Republican, but Vermont is very blue at the national level. Pennsylvania. I think Gretchen Whitmer does better in suburban voters in Philly and Pittsburgh and everywhere in between than Nikki Haley would. So let's go to Wisconsin, the last state. Wisconsin is a very interesting state because it's very competitive. It could honestly go either way. Either narrow to the left or narrow to the right. Honestly, I feel like this could probably be a very realistic map for Gretchen Whitmer versus Nikki Haley. If you're Whitmer, I think the most positive and the best outcome you could probably get is win Arizona, win Nevada, win Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Georgia, North Carolina. I think this would probably be the best case scenario for Democrats. If you're a Democrat, you probably would want this case scenario, but that would probably be the best case scenario for Democrats. If you're a Republican, the best case scenario would probably be figuring out how to take back Arizona, take back Georgia, North Carolina, win that, and just figure out how to win one state, Wisconsin, up here in the Midwest. But I don't know. Republicans if in 2024 are going up against incumbency, Democrats have the incumbency of the White House, so you're running into pretty strong headwinds for Republicans. But yeah, I think this could definitely be a realistic map for Gretchen Whitmer versus Nikki Haley 2024. With that, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next video. Deuces.